N-double-O-D-L-E-S, got my noodles, yes. N-double-O-D-L-E-S, got my noodles, yes. N-double-O, 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 N-double, 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 N-N-N-N-N-N-N-N-double-O-D-L-E-S, got my noodles, yes.
Hello everyone, I'm going to do my demonstrative speech on how to do some really good ramen noodles. These are the ingredients that I use right here. I have a packet of ramen noodles. I have garlic salt for the seasoning. I have black pepper for the seasoning. And Louisiana hot sauce just in case you do like hot sauce in your noodles. I feel like it's really good, so I use it sometimes. And you'll also need a bowl, a measuring cup, a fork, and a decent sized pan. Okay. So first off, you find a decent sized pan big enough for the noodles to cook in. Once you find that, you'll bring it over and the measuring cup to the sink. Then turn the water on. And if it's a pan about this size, which is like a medium size, I will put like 3 cups of water in. Okay, so then you bring the pot back over to the stove. And then you turn the stove on. Depending on what type of stove you have, if you have like a gas stove, you'll turn the fire on to like medium. So it's not too high, but it's not too low either, because you have to bring the water to a boil before you can cook the noodles. If you don't bring it to a boil and you just, you feel like the water is hot enough for it, but you don't see it boiling and you add the noodles anyway, you won't get really good results. So you have to let the water come to a boil before you can even put the noodles in there. So when you get the fire adjusted to how you want it, you just sit and you let the water boil. It shouldn't take no longer than 10 minutes. So wait 10 minutes for the water to boil.
Ramen noodles, ramen noodles, ramen noodles, thank you.
Okay, so now the water is boiling. So we're going to open up the noodle pack, like so. And the ramen noodles come with its own seasoning pack, so you have to make sure you take the seasoning pack out. Because if you pour the noodles in with the seasoning pack, that's kind of dangerous. You try to get that out. So you take that out, and then you have to open the sides, so that way you get the noodles out. Now some people, depending on how big the pan is, they'll like crunch their noodles up to make it smaller. But since the pan is at a decent size, you can just take it out full like that and just place it in the water. And then you'll have like excess noodles. Some people, they'll throw it away, or I'll add them. Personally me, because I don't like wasting food. So I add all the excess. Now once the noodles are in there, you want to kind of like stir it a little with a fork and kind of like put it more in the water, so that way it can start loosening up. And I would say after about a minute, that's when you can start really stirring it and letting it cook. It's kind of different from a stovetop than a microwave. A lot of people like to cook them in a microwave, but I feel like it's better results on the stovetop. So you see now the noodles are starting to loosen up some. So that's when you can start stirring it. And then also make sure you turn the fire down some so you won't burn your hand, because it can be hot if you're trying to stir it over. And you just continuously stir until all of the strands are loosened up. And you you also have to make sure you cook it for 3 minutes. If you do over 3 minutes, they will overcook and you won't get the same results. They're really disgusting and you will be disappointed. The noodles have about 1 more minute to cook. Okay, so it's been a minute now. So now what you do is remove the pot from the stove. You take the fork with you, and then you're going to drain the water from the noodles.
Ramen noodle soup, ramen noodle soup. Only take 5 minutes to make my ramen noodle soup. I put water in that pot and start boiling. I gave my girl some.
You don't have to drain all the water, but I like to, so I can taste the noodles, and I won't feel like it's too watered down. Then you pour the noodles into the bowl. Make sure all of it is out. I know there's a little, little pieces, but that's not really necessary. Okay. And then some people, they don't really like the length of the noodles, so they'll take a knife and they'll cut it. I personally don't care. So I usually just leave it how it is. But this is how they're gonna come out after you drain the water and you put them in a bowl. So then afterwards, you add the chicken seasoning, or whichever flavor you get. You add the seasoning from the noodle pack. All of it is out. You don't want to waste that good seasoning. That's what makes the noodles. Okay. And then you start to stir. And you make sure all the noodles are able to be covered with the seasoning. If you don't, you'll have some leftover noodles who don't have seasoning on them at all, and it tastes kind of weird. So it needs the seasoning all the way through.
N-double-O-D-L-E-S, got my noodles, yes. N-double-O-D-L-E-S, got my noodles, yes. N-double-O, 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 N-double, 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 N-double-O-D-L-E-S, got my noodles, yes.
Like I said earlier, I use black pepper and garlic salt. And sometimes I'll add a little bit of hot sauce in it as well. So now I'm going to apply the garlic salt. And then I'm going to add the black pepper. And for the black pepper, you only need a little bit. I made the mistake of adding a lot of black pepper before, and it did not taste right at all. I was pretty much sneezing and choking the whole time. It was very bad. So you mix all that in, and then I finally add my hot sauce. Add a little bit though. You don't want to take away from the rest of the seasoning. Hot sauce is very strong. Depending on what kind you get. This is the real stuff. This is Louisiana hot sauce. So yeah, it's pretty good. And then you mix it up. And then the noodles generally taste better when you let them cool down some and then you eat them. You don't want to eat them like while they're hot like this, so you won't really taste anything. You just burn your tongue and cry like a baby. Okay, so after that, you let the noodles sit for a little bit. And then you enjoy. And that's usually how I make my ramen noodles on the stovetop. So I hope this helps. Thanks for watching and enjoy.